Medusa was not always the feared monster of Greek mythology. Her life began like that of many other young women of her time. She had no heroic aspirations or dreams of power. She lived to serve Athena, her goddess. She had found in the temple a safe space, a place where she could devote herself to worship without major worries. No one imagined that her life would change so dramatically. But Medusa's beauty attracted the gaze of Poseidon, the mighty god of the seas. It was not a friendly encounter. Medusa did not have the strength to defend herself, and Poseidon, as a god, did not accept refusals. The tragedy occurred in the very temple where she had found peace. There were no warnings, no way to stop the inevitable. Poseidon, with his immense power, took what he wanted without worrying about the consequences. But the consequences, as always, fell on Medusa. Athena, upon learning of what happened in her temple, showed no compassion for the young girl. It was her sacred space, and an offense in her sanctuary could not go unpunished. Although Medusa was not responsible, it was she who suffered the punishment. Athena did not turn against Poseidon, but turned her fury on Medusa, transforming her forever. Overnight, she was no longer the beautiful young woman they knew, but something completely different. Now, her gaze was dangerous. Anyone who dared to look directly at her would be turned to stone. With no hope of redemption, there was no place for her among humans anymore. The fear she provoked forced her to flee, to seek refuge where no one could find her. Far from the cities, Medusa found her new life on a remote island, together with her sisters Stino and Uriel, who were also monstrous beings, although different. But among them, Medusa stood out for one reason. She was the only one who could die. The solitude of that island was her only consolation. There was nothing to do but wait. Wait for them to leave her alone. Wait for men to forget her existence. But humans, always seeking glory, could not resist the legend of Medusa. It was said that her gaze could destroy anyone. And for many warriors, that was reason enough to seek her out. Not with love, not with compassion, but with the ambition to become heroes. Perseus was one of those warriors, though he did not come on his initiative. He had been charged with the mission of bringing Medusa's head as proof of his bravery. What made Perseus different was that he was not alone in his enterprise. The gods helped him. Athena, the same goddess who had condemned Medusa, gave Perseus a shining shield, which reflected everything as if it were a mirror. Hermes, the messenger of the gods, offered him winged sandals so he could fly. Even Hades, the god of the underworld, lent him a helmet that made him invisible. With all these gifts, Perseus arrived at the island where Medusa lived in seclusion. He knew he could not look directly at her, so he used the reflection of the shield to see her image while she slept. There was no fight, no confrontation. Perseus, with his sharp sword, cut off her head in a single motion. Medusa had no chance to defend herself, no time to understand what was happening. Her life, already full of suffering, ended abruptly. However, even in death, Medusa still became dangerous. Perseus took her head. He knew that she still had the power to petrify anyone who looked at her. He kept it as a trophy, a weapon he would use in the days to come for his purposes. Thus, Medusa, who in life had been a simple young girl, became a legend feared by all.